So, let's talk about something that can drive you absolutely crazy. If they loved you, why on earth did they leave? And if they said they needed space, why does it feel like they miss you now? It is one of the most confusing, most painful things to go through after a breakup. So today, we're going to unpack this whole mystery, try to make sense of these mixed signals, and hopefully find you some clarity.
I mean, this is the big question, right? It's this total paradox. One minute, they are pushing you away with everything they've got. The next, you get this little flicker of something. It almost feels like longing, and it just leaves you feeling completely dizzy, wondering, wait, did I do something wrong? Is there still a chance here?
Okay, so to really get what's going on, we have to look past their confusing actions and dive a little deeper, right into the psychology of how we all connect as human beings. Let's start pulling at the threads of this puzzle.
And here's the first thing I really want you to hear. This is not about you. It is not a reflection of your worth. The real key to understanding why they act this way, it's all in a concept from psychology called attachment theory. This basically explains the different ways we all, as adults, handle intimacy and connection.
So, what is an avoidant attachment style? Well, according to the fantastic book Attached, folks with this style are caught in this deep internal tug-of-war. See, just like everybody else, they have a biological need for connection. We're wired for it. But at the exact same time, getting too close feels suffocating. It feels like a genuine threat to their independence.
And it's this internal conflict that leads to a really strange, really confusing dynamic after a breakup. It's this thing where their feelings can just completely flip a switch the moment you're actually gone.
Yeah, listen to this quote from Attached, because this is the big aha moment for so many people. It says that, once there's time and distance, something strange happens. The feelings of love and admiration come back. Distance, that's the magic ingredient. Suddenly, you're not a threat to their independence anymore. The pressure is just gone, and all those positive feelings they were pushing down are suddenly safe enough to come out again.
And this is where you might start to become what the authors call the Phantom X. You're no longer a real person to them. You transform into this idealized, almost perfect memory. And look, this isn't just them being nostalgic. It's actually a really powerful psychological tool they use, sometimes without even realizing it, to keep any new partners at a safe distance.
Okay, look at this. This really breaks down the two completely different mindsets. When you were together, when you were close, their brain was laser-focused on your flaws. It's a way to create distance, a deactivating strategy, as psychologists call it. They feel suffocated. But now that you're distant, it's totally safe to reminisce. Now they can idealize the past, and all those feelings they pushed away can finally bubble back up to the surface.
But here's the thing. That wall of independence they build around themselves, it's not invincible, not by a long shot. And under the right kind of pressure, it can start to crumble.
There's a concept from Dr. Sue Johnson, who's a total pioneer in relationship therapy, called primal panic. Think of it like this. Our brains are literally hardwired from birth to fear being alone. It's a survival thing. So when our sense of secure connection is threatened, this alarm bell just goes off in our brain's fear center. We stop thinking, and we just react. And this instinct, it affects everyone. Yes, even avoidants.
And this is so important to get. Their independence isn't just who they are, it's an active effort. They are constantly, day in and day out, working to push down that fundamental human need for connection. But that takes a ton of mental energy. And when life gets stressful, well, that energy just runs out.
So this is kind of how it happens, in 4 steps. First, some stressful life event hits them. Maybe they lose their job or there's a family crisis. Second, their defenses break down. They just don't have the energy to keep that wall up. Third, that need for connection they've been suppressing comes roaring to the surface. And what happens in step 4? In that moment of primal panic, they might instinctively reach out to the last person who felt like home, who felt like safety. And that person was probably you.
All right, so we've spent some time on the why behind all this. Now let's get into the what. Let's talk about the actual, tangible, and oh-so-confusing signals you're probably seeing right now.
First thing to know, they are not going to just text you, "I miss you." No way. Because of that deep-seated fear of getting too close, that's way too vulnerable. Instead, what they'll do is test the waters. They'll send out these little feelers, small, low-risk attempts to connect, just to see how you'll react, to see if the coast is clear.
So does any of this sound familiar? That sudden like on a photo from like 3 years ago? Or a random, brief text that just kind of disappears or they never reply to? Maybe they're asking mutual friends how you're doing.
These are all little ways of dipping a toe in the water. They are definitely signs that you're on their mind, but they are also signs that they are super conflicted about what to even do with that thought.
And this might be the most confusing part of the entire thing. The same person who might have been critical or distant when you were together can suddenly become so warm and complimentary now that you're apart. It makes no sense, right?
Well, here's the reason why. The pressure is completely off. Now that you're out of their immediate inner circle, you're no longer a threat to their independence. You're not there to make the demands of a real, everyday relationship. And that distance, it finally allows their kinder, more appreciative side to come out, because it finally feels safe.
Okay, so let's put all the pieces together and get to the bottom line. What does it really, truly mean when an avoidant ex is thinking about you?
And here is the hard truth, but it's a really important one. Their longing isn't for the real you, not the complex, messy, wonderful you that exists in a day-to-day relationship. What they're longing for is the idea of you, the phantom ex, that idealized, safe, non-threatening version of you that only exists in their memory, free from any real-world demands.
This next quote from Attached really drives this home. It says that just knowing that the phantom ex is out there is enough to make any new partner seem insignificant. Think about that. This nostalgic pining, it's not a bridge leading back to you. It's actually a wall that keeps them from ever getting truly close to anyone new.
So when you boil it all down, them thinking about you, the mixed signals, the nostalgia, all of it, it's a reflection of their internal world. It's a symptom of their constant battle between their need for connection and their deep fear of it. This is about their programming, their patterns. It's not necessarily a sign that they're ready for real love.
Look, I know this is a lot to take in, but understanding this can hopefully bring you some real clarity and maybe even some closure. It helps shift the focus away from asking, what did I do wrong? And toward asking, okay, what do I need to heal? Because at the end of the day, they may be thinking of you, but the most important question now is for you. What does your own healing require?